What's up guys, Manny from Motomillion, and the M1000RR is back. So guys, it's not exactly our M1000RR, but this is 650e's 2023 M1000RR. Some of you keen viewers might have realized that the exhaust and the wheels are different. In the end, they'll probably be very similar. Our bike's gonna stay with the Aussie Racing magnesium forged wheels, which are lighter than these carbon fiber wheels, but some people just want carbon wheels, and there's nothing wrong with that. So let's quickly go over what this bike has, because we're gonna do a full walk around. It's not walk around ready yet, so you guys get a teaser of the bike. One thing that stands out is this full 6 carbon fiber gas tank. This is not a cover, this is a complete carbon gas tank. It's about 3 to 4 pounds lighter than the stock gas tank that comes on this bike. And these M logos have been applied under the clear coat of this gas tank, so it looks as OEM as possible, but better. It already has the Brembo brakes on it, front and rear, because as we say, this bike being the top of the line bike, the top of the line brakes are Brembos, and also the top of the line suspension is Ohlins. It has a rear Ohlins shock on it. We're about to give it Ohlins forks in the front. But before that, let's mention some of the other pieces that this bike has. It has a DBK clear clutch cover. As you can see right here, it actually looks really, really cool as well when the bike is running. It has our TWM fuel cap. And there's loads of more stuff coming for this bike. If you guys are looking at these mirrors, for example, Rizoma just released the mirrors that fit the 2023 and 2024 M1000RR. But before we go all the way there, what's gonna be done to the bike, let's talk about what we're doing today. I said that it deserved Brembo and it deserved Ohlins. It doesn't have Ohlins in the front, and there's a good reason for that. This is our Ohlins fork that is for the M1000RR and S1000RR. It fits anywhere from 2020 S1000RR to 2024, as well as the 2021 M1000RR all the way to 2024. But with our good friend Matthew from Emesco in England, we came up with a solution. He made these brackets for us. We did ship up quite a few of the suspension pieces, the full forks, and other things along the way to make sure that these things fit and they fit properly. And these brackets will enable us to run those aero wheel covers. I haven't really mentioned them in detail. He does make some of the World Superbikes that you see on track right now. For example, Toprak Razgatlioglu's World Superbike that's racing in the Superbike class has quite a few of his pieces on there. Maybe with his blessings, we'll show you some of the pieces. I don't know how secretive some of these things are, so he does send me stuff that I see once in a while that is pretty cool to me. Maybe we'll just show up to World Superbike race and show stuff to you guys. But that being said, let's put our forks on the bike and fit those aero wheel covers back on it. And we're keen on fitting those aero wheel covers because if some of you guys are watching at other parts of the world, in the United States, we only get the competition model of the M1000RR, which has some extra carbon fiber, I believe, has a black tank instead of the white or silver tank that you guys get. And I think the distinctive feature of this M1000RR, of the new M1000RRs, are the aero package, and those aero wheel covers are one of the most important pieces to me in terms of looks, at least, because we know that it does work for aero. All the MotoGP bikes have it. The World Superbike that is racing currently doesn't have it on it. We don't know, maybe it's a homologation issue, or maybe it's the first race that was in Australia that they didn't need them. But let's talk in more working. Let's get these forks on the bike, and then let's admire the beauty of this M1000RR once we're done. Okay, as you guys can see, the bike is pretty bare bone in the front. We got our front wheel off, our calipers are off, and our fenders and our aero disc covers are off as well. Now all I gotta do is loosen the pinch bolts, and I believe the fork should slide down. I hope so. Let's cross our fingers, and soon we'll get to see some gold on this bike. Now that we have the forks out, the stock M1000RR forks, let me show you why you can't run the stock bracket for the aero wheel covers. As you see, the fork leg has this hole here where the bracket actually sandwiches onto, and if you look at the Ohlins forks, it doesn't have it there. That's why we have to come up with a special bracket for it. And but yeah, so out with the black, in with the gold. As we know, Ohlins is the gold standard. That's why usually they coat their forks and some of the shock parts in gold colors. We're getting along. We're just mocking everything up to make sure everything fits, even though these were tested off the bike. I just want to make sure we test everything on the bike. And if you want to take a look, this is the beautiful bracket that was machined from a billet block of aluminum. Well, billet block, just billet means it's a big chunk of aluminum, which it gets milled down to this piece that you see. And it goes right onto your pinch bolts on your front fork with the Ohlins. Again, I don't foresee a lot of people needing these, and these are made in very, very low quantities because again, Ohlins forks are not really available for these bikes. Availability is so low. And also, a lot of people don't change their forks on their bikes to the Ohlins forks. I think you should, especially if you get it set up properly and if you do some track time or if you do some of your canyon runs. A properly set up suspension makes a big difference on the motorcycles. Either way, here it is. This is the magical piece that we needed, and it's all beauty. I think it looks so cool that I could just probably put it on my desk and just stare at it all day. Maybe because they're still shiny and new. They're gonna stay like this anyways. But let me get this on the bike. Let's mock everything up and then we'll torque everything down and call it a day. It's almost on. We just were test fitting stuff, and I was aware when Matt was making these pieces, he asked us, should we make a new fork leg piece that is thinner right here, or should we just notch this piece? And I think we came to an agreement that it's probably safer not to make anything thinner over here in terms of materials, and just to notch this piece when we're installing it on. It's just this little piece that you have to notch over here so that you could get a perfect fit on it. I think for anyone who is skilled, this is not hard. I used a band sander, which I'll show you in a minute. They're not expensive, so if you're trying to take this on yourself, they're actually very, very useful to have, especially if you're fitting on custom pieces onto your motorcycle in terms of carbon fiber or fiberglass, because it makes perfect pieces like this, where when you notch it, if you can tell, look at this. This doesn't look bad at all for something that it just took me a minute or two to do. And let me put this on. I'm gonna put the fender on so that we could check our final clearances to make sure everything is okay and it fits as we should. And we can put the bodywork back on. And that's it, guys. Here's 650 EBS M1000RR with the Ohlins front fork. And for whatever it's worth, it's probably the first M1000RR competition with the full aero package in the front Ohlins forks. Now it has the matching fork for the rear TTX shock that it has on it. It's got Brembos, and this bike's not finished. It is technically the Motomillion M1000RR, one of two that's in existence right now. And we're gonna be installing our full carbon subframe on this. We're gonna add the Rizoma mirrors, the stealth mirrors when they are delivered, because they're released, but the first batch hasn't been delivered yet. And there's gonna be a lot more updates coming for this bike. And I want to take the time to let you guys know that a lot of you guys are watching, but not a lot of you guys are subscribed. It would mean a lot to us if you hit that subscribe button, because then YouTube's algorithm will be a little nicer to us. And as always, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Until next time, guys, have a good one.